Move over Boston lineup, ship out the SL20, see you later Adios lineup. The Adidas SL is something special, and I really think Adidas is onto something killer in this shoe. On my foot, this shoe just is simply better than any other Adidas trainer shoe out there. It does fall short in one extremely important area, which we will get to, but once it's figured out, the Adidas SL, this bad boy is a moneymaker for Adidas. And for a price point that nobody else is hitting in the market for a shoe this good, Adidas is about to take some market share with this bad boy. As always, multiple different runs. Easy runs, couple different interval workouts, little bit longer of some marathon pacing efforts. So let's talk about why I think the Adidas SL is not just their best shoe for 2022, but could be their best shoe for 2023. So more often than not, I like to start with the good, but it's really important with this shoe that I'm gonna start with the not so good. A shoe can be great in theory. It can have great specs, great weight, best price point, yada, 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 whatever it may be. But if I can't get a shoe to lock in really well on my foot, it's a problem because none of us wanna be stopping and tying up the shoe all the time during runs. It was a real struggle getting this shoe to lock down and lace up really nicely. I had issues from it untying on runs multiple times. I had issues from double knotted and it would just start to loosen up and then untie again. And it was really, really frustrating. It wasn't until one of my interval runs where I was like, I really want to get this locked down, figured out and dialed in because the shoe feels good, but I know this is a problem. And so I did the runner's knot, something I don't do on all of my shoes. In fact, almost 90-95% of my shoes, I don't do the runner's knot. But with this shoe, the moment I put that runner's knot in, the lockdown was perfect. Now, I totally acknowledge this could be user error, could have been something that I only deal with, but I don't deal with this on all of my other shoes or in any other shoe for that matter. And so for me, that lace up and that lockdown took about 3 to 4 runs. But once I figured it out, that's when the really great stuff started rolling in about this shoe. As I mentioned, the SL got a lot of different paces in it. It felt good on the easy runs, but it's when I got into that marathon pacing efforts in those little bit longer runs where the SL really, really started to sing. So much so that my 10 plus mile fartlek at 30 seconds faster than marathon pace, I thought to myself, I think this is gonna be a long, long haul shoe for me. And I'm talking 300-400 miles, and this won't be my first pair. Why? Pretty much, it's really that midsole and that upper. On the Boston lineup, which is shoe I really liked, the Light Strike and the Light Strike Pro is almost like a sandwich with the meat in the middle being their nylon rods. Whereas this, to take a Boston area treat, it's more like a cannoli. The Light Strike is wrapping around the Light Strike Pro, which you really, really can feel as your paces pick up in the forefoot. Now, you can kind of see where it's exposed here through the cutouts in the outsole, and that's where you feel the benefits of that Light Strike Pro. Now, it's not a super shoe as there is no carbon or nylon plates or rods or anything in there, but it has an extremely positive responsiveness to it that you get from those super foams. Think, like that Novablast that doesn't have any rods, but it's got a lot of responsiveness. That's what I'm feeling with the Adidas SL. Secondly, it's extremely comfortable. It may not be those max stack height, but it is 35 millimeters in the heel with an 8 millimeter drop. I'm thinking those 16, 17, 18, 20 mile runs, this shoe's gonna feel really good. It's gonna have that responsiveness, it's gonna have that comfort, and this is the Adidas complement I've been looking for the Adios Adizero Pro on my training days in that midsole. Second area of this shoe that Adidas nailed is the upper. Finally, a good daily trainer upper from Adidas. Where they've always fallen short, they nailed in the SL. I think it's actually the best upper of any daily trainer in 2022. Coming close to that is probably the Saucony Triumph, but Adidas absolutely nailing this one. The two areas where I think they did the best is in the heel collar and in the tongue. It is the perfect amount of padding. It is enough to feel supported on the easy days and to give you that nice easy ride, but also solid on those pickup days that it doesn't feel like it's overbearing with the weight. It says it comes in at just under 10 ounces at 9.7, but it actually like feels on my foot more like an 8.5 or 9 ounce shoe than it does at 9.7. I don't know if it's something that's new with this upper material or the fact that it's got a lot of air vents in it or a very light mesh material, but that upper is gotta be one of the best uppers I have seen Adidas produce in a very, very long time. So obviously my verdict is gonna be this shoe is absolutely incredible. Adidas nailed it. And not to mention, it's only $120. While other brands are bringing up their daily trainers to around 140, 160, sometimes even 165, Adidas kept this at $120. That is incredible value out of this shoe, considering I still think it's gonna go 350, 450 miles with a decent outsole that they have on this shoe. I think Adidas is coming after this daily trainer game. So Adidas, well done. I may not be getting your Boston or your SL20 lineup ever again, but guarantee this won't be the last pair of Adidas SL I buy.